Hello everyone, this is a quick video to show you how I make my vinyl decals, the ones I use on my backdrops. So the machine I use is the Cricut Explore Air 2. I hope I said that right. And then, so once you have your design on the design space, you can, hold on. This is my first time recording while I'm doing this, so bear with me. Let's see, the size here is going to be 32 inches by 27 something inches. And we all know that the machine only cuts up to 23.5 by 11.5. So obviously you're going to have to cut these words out individually. So what I do, I actually cut out the first letter on its own and the rest all together. So the first letter is going to be 11. Make sure it's going to be 11.5, and the rest is going to be whatever it's going to be. It depends on the font. Just make sure the height is 11.5, and this one, the bottom, the width cannot be more than 23.5. That's all you need. When I first started making these decals for my 8 feet by 8 feet backdrops, I used to think that I need to make these letters way taller than, like, to make this height more than, like, I don't know, 2 feet or something. But all you need is 11.5. The wider it gets, the bigger it looks. It doesn't need to be taller than 11.5. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so make sure the height is 11.5. You come up here where it says height, you type 11.5. Once you do that, you see the width also changes on its own. You can change the width or the height without changing the other by unlocking right here, but we're not gonna go into that right now. So you can actually cut this as it is on a machine without any complications, because it's within the limit of 11.5 by 23.5. But if you wanted to make it bigger, remember, you don't need to make it bigger if you're going to put it on a backdrop, let's say as big as 8 feet by 8 feet. So, but if you wanted to make it bigger, you will make it bigger. Just make sure one side is 23.5, so you don't end up cutting this thing many times. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and slice this. I like to put it right here on the corner. In the meantime, let me just group this and then close it, because I don't want to look at it all the time. Now, the way I do it, I just pick a shape. Let's say that this one, the square, where is it? And there it is. Move this up here. This one. Make it a little bigger, change the size, and then just bring it over here like that. Move it back, go to arrange. Where's the thing? Yeah, send to the back. So now you see your letter right there. So if I slice it like that right now, it will cut this letter right here. You can move this thing. You can either put it vertical or horizontal, whatever you want to do, however you want to cut it. But now it's saying, then you have to select all, like that. Select all, then you come down here, you slice it. Sorry, my computer is kind of slow. So now that it's sliced, let's move this out the way. You see that? And you see that? Now, if you look at the size on this thing, it's 11.969 by 5.9. And this one is 20.4 by 9 something. So you can go ahead and cut these things, and then once you cut it, you're gonna have to join it. Yeah, so joining, I have to show that on a different video, but you just, yeah, it just have to be a different video. But anyway, let's put this back the way it was, because I wasn't going to cut it like this. I usually don't like to do this. It's too much work and you really don't need to do all this. I should have made a copy before cutting. But anyways, let's see. I'm gonna put it back the way it was. Weld it. And let's close this out. I don't want this. So anyway, where's that group? Let's put it back the way it was. Put everything back. This P, I just want it to be 11.5. That's more than I need. 11.5. Then, okay, ungroup that. Put it back this way. Just make sure. Okay, so since this is going to be the biggest word out of all of these, I'm gonna do that first. This, and then make sure the size of this is not too small compared to the P. So you can adjust it however you want to. I think that looks okay. Now, if you look at this, it's 21.6 by 7, so that's good. It's still within the limit. You don't need to slice it and all that. You just cut it as it is. And then you check everything else is good. And this one is 14 point something by 8, the H, and then these are already all together. Just make sure these letters, you weld them. I already did that. Make sure you weld it before you cut it. If you don't weld it, if you just group it and cut it, they're not gonna be joined like this. So weld together before you cut. And this one is gonna be on its own. This one is already welded. No, I didn't. So you see that one? It's not welded. So you go down here where it says weld, and you weld it. Now I was gonna say, if you want to save your paper, your vinyl, you will have to, let's see, this one is on its own, right? You can take this one and put it right here and cut it all and weld it and then cut. And then you can take that one, put it right here. That's what I do. And then yeah, and then weld it together and cut. Let's see, this can be with that one sometimes. Okay, let's see how big that's gonna be. It's 23.7 by 11. So yeah, no, it needs to be less than 23.5. And you move it this way a little bit. Make sure they don't. I don't want these to touch right now. So I need to get one of those things to hold my phone. Okay, so where are we now? See, 11.8. This needs to be less than 11.5 or less. So what are we gonna do with this? Because I don't want to cut this on its own and this on its own. That's too much vinyl. So what I do take that one, you can actually rotate it 180 degrees. Just go up here, like just flip it upside down. I guess you could flip it, or no, don't flip, sometimes that's different. So rotate it 180 degrees, and then let's try to put it back right there, and then see what size it is altogether. That's 23.9 by 8.9, so that's good. What I'm going to do is weld it, but here's another suggestion. Before you weld, you might want to group it and make a copy, duplicate it. Then you see there's two now, so close that one out in case if you make a mistake, because once you weld this thing, sometimes you can't unweld it. There's no unwelding. Like, you can do it right immediately, but not after you do a whole other bunch of things. Then you want to go back, oh, I want to unweld this thing. You can't. So my suggestion is you make a copy and close it out for later in case you make a mistake. So I'm going to weld that. So now you can see I only have 3 pieces to cut out. This one will be that long, 21 point something. This one will be 20.9 something. And then this will be 15.7. So that's 2 feet, 2 feet, 1, almost. So you're going to end up using, if you add all this up, you're going to end up using about 60 inches or so. That's about 5 feet. So if you're doing this as a business, you really need to make sure you are charging for the vinyl that you're using, or you just be wasting money. That's why I like to group everything all together. I used to do, like, sometimes I will put it right here, but in my experience, I really don't like to put anything inside unless I really have to, because that complicates when I cut it out and when I want to. It just complicates things. But if I have to, I will do it. You can actually put it in here, but that's another video. So easiest way is just put it right there. Like I said, group it, make a copy, and then weld it. But and then you go right there, you weld it, and that's it. We are ready to cut. Save it. Oh yes, save every time you can, please. Now let's see if we can cut it. Sometimes this machine is weird. It says one of your images is too large for 12 by 24 mat, which is not true because everything is within limit. You see 20.9 by 9.8. This is not welded. Okay, 1 second. Weld it. And you see that's 21.6 by 7.9. That's 15 point something by 11.5. So I don't know why it always, sometimes it says that, but everything is within limit. It should work. So what I do in this situation, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. So what I do, I can either just cut one by one. Like I would just close this for a second, and this one, and then if you cut that, it will work. Let's see, make it. See, it works. Now cancel. And then once you cut that one out, you go back, you close that one. Let's see which one was the longest. That one. Let's see, you make it, it goes through. That's how I do it. I don't know why. It should all this software, I don't know. Anyways, so that's how you do it. You just continue and cut. Before I cut, I want to show you just some of the tricks that I used when I was designing the phrase. For instance, I really like to use this font, but as you can see, it's very thin right here, and if you cut it, it just looks really thin. So I don't see anywhere on this software where I can just click and make it thick, you know. So what I do, I duplicate it, and then just I try to superimpose. I don't know if this is the word, superimpose it, but not quite on it. Just slide it a little bit, and then I duplicate it again. This computer is kind of slow, so again, try to cover where it was showing some white in between. See that? And then you can duplicate it again and again and again and make it as thick as you want it to be. Just make sure I look at the ends. And you see it's getting thicker. Now just make sure you cover these white lines. You see there's a whiteness in there before you cut it. So do that, and then if you notice on these ends, you see that? I don't like that. So what I do once I cut it, I can cut it with the scissors. It's pretty easy to do, and I'll be just fine. Let me see if you can see the difference. Show you how it was. You see how thin this one is, and see this one? Can you see the difference? So that's how I make my letters thick. Please, if you have any other way of doing this, please let me know, because sometimes this is so annoying and it takes forever. Thank you.